Oh my god, another spanner in the works. After reviewing many microphones recently, I haven't finished even those reviews completely. I have upgraded my Biodynamic decent headphones by German company to one of the best, if not the best headphones for analytical listening by the same company, Biodynamic or Biodynamic. It's a German company, so Biodynamic, and they are amazing. Now I can actually hear clearly the difference between Audio-Technica and Rode Procaster. The difference is quite big now. With these I could hear the difference, but it wasn't as pronounced. It didn't make much of a difference. So my review is still valid. Watch it for two reasons. First of all, you will be able to hear the samples and compare yourself. I've spent lots of time making sure that I record two microphones at the same time, and then I play a bit of recording one after another, so you can hear exactly the same thing played by the same microphone. Okay, also by two different microphones, one after another. And two, very few people on our planet have headphones of this quality or similar or higher. So most people, probably 99.9% of people, will not be able to hear any difference between those microphones. They may be able to hear a bit of a difference between those two microphones, but very little. Or definitely they will not be able to hear any difference between these two microphones. So fairly expensive, I mean £150 or dollars, and this one for £22 microphone by Behringer, or some people call it Behringer. I think it's Behringer because it's German. I can hear the difference with these expensive headphones. I'll make a video about this as well, so watch for that. And with these I can hear no difference practically between those two. Okay, anyway, enjoy the review. You can jump to the test straight away or just listen to the whole thing. Yeah, thanks for using my links as well. Okay, take care, guys. So I just made a video comparing the Rode Procaster with a few other microphones, and I concluded that you might be better off buying a cheaper Behringer microphones instead. However, I thought, I'll give it a go. I've decided to compare Rode Procaster with Audio-Technica, what's the model number? AT875R, great microphone, and see which one is better for voiceover, which one is better for maybe casual YouTube speaking. And I have already listened to those microphones. I recorded them in Adobe Audition, and I listened to them carefully using my fairly good headphones. These are kind of studio headphones, and also my fairly good speakers, Audio Engine HD6, and my monitor speakers, built into my monitor. Not very good speakers, obviously, but good enough. And conclusions are the following. It's very difficult to notice any difference between these two microphones, whether I was speaking up close, like 10 centimeters for voiceover, which I will present in a moment, or whether it was like half a meter away, hand stretch away. They were sounding very kind of in a very similar way. However, there is a however. Audio-Technica has got this advantage. It's much louder, or hotter, some people say. So I only needed to set the my Behringer interface to around 12 o'clock to have a really good signal, whereas 12 o'clock, sorry, it's there. Whereas the Rode Procaster needed to be set 3 more hours later, so 3 o'clock, or from your perspective the other way. So that's a big difference, and there is, surprise or not, there is much more noise coming from Rode Procaster. I guess it's because of that. Now, if I turn the volume on my Behringer interface, that will increase the volume as well. I've tested that, actually. It increases the volume. If you have a better audio interface, you might get less noise a little bit, I guess, but definitely this is a very noisy microphone. Now, if you speak very loudly, so if you are like really up close to it, on it, that might not make a big difference. But when you start speaking from 10 centimeters away and further, that noise becomes quite obvious, quite apparent. So now there is a difference that I could hear after listening to those recordings for, you know, quite many times back to back, you know, chopping them and juxtaposing. I was able to hear some sort of a difference. So the Rode microphone sounded a little bit deeper, not necessarily more bassy maybe, but kind of deeper. I cannot explain it. However, not all the time, only on some part of recordings, like when I was speaking very slowly, like press the left button, which I will present in a moment in a proper comparison. So now these microphones, they retail at similar prices. Audio-Technica might be a little bit more expensive, and at the moment it's a bit more difficult to buy it, but if you shop around you will find it basically. So I do recommend both microphones for whether you want to use for YouTube, casual YouTube recordings, or voiceover. For voiceover, this one is brilliant, even better than my Synco D2. However, Synco is better for longer distance, half a meter away, much better than Audio-Technica. I will make a separate video about this. So I think Audio-Technica is my preferred choice, and because of the noise. I think the noise is an issue, and also it's quite heavy and bulky, takes a lot of space, but at the same time it's very pleasing. It looks really good. I mean, if I look at it, you know, it looks really nice, solid, and I love the looks of it. However, you know, I don't want to, you know, remove that noise all the time. Now, that noise was not audible on my speakers. My speakers, although they're very good, they have a bit of a less emphasis on the higher frequencies, so that noise was not obvious. But on the headphones, it was really, really clear. This white noise, self noise it's called usually, I think. And then Audio-Technica was absolutely clean, almost no perceivable noise really. So well done to Audio-Technica. I was really well impressed. So let's do a proper test now, shall we? So the first test is for voiceover, so 10 centimeters away. Let me set it up quickly. This is now a typical voice-over scenario around 10 centimeters away from the microphones. This is now a typical voice-over scenario around 10 centimeters away from the microphones. Betty Botter bought some butter. Betty Botter bought some butter. But, she said, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But, she said, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. Now, take the device out of the box. Now, take the device out of the box, put it on the table, and press the power button. End of the test. Put it on the table and press the power button. End of the test. So these two microphones, they are quite good at plosives. I guess, I mean, this Rode is much better, especially if I come really close to it. I can speak to it and there won't be any plosives, yeah? Which is great. And I demonstrated in my other test, and I will in another test soon, whereas Audio-Technica does require definitely a pop filter. This one does require, Rode also requires pop filter, however, only when I'm like 10-15 centimeters away and speaking directly. So listen, there is a bit of a pop, yeah, poppy, botty, potty, whereas this one will pop much harder all the time. I mean, not all the time. Both of them, they require, you know, handling them correctly to avoid the popping, yeah? So now let's do a test from far away. Okay, so now I am at the hand stretch to the microphone, so around half a meter away. So that would be like a typical... Okay, so now I am at the hand stretch to the microphone, so around half a meter away. So that would be like a typical I don't know, talking to the camera scenario. I don't want the microphones to be visible, so they might be somewhere outside of the frame. I could probably get them, I don't know, talking to the camera scenario. I don't want the microphones to be visible, so they might be somewhere outside of the frame. I could probably get them a little bit closer as well, but we want to hear what they sound like from this distance. A little bit closer as well, but we want to hear what they sound like from this distance. And as I said, there is very little difference in how they sound, apart from the Rode being slightly maybe a bit deeper at times, but only at times, and Rode also having much more noise than Audio-Technica or Audio-Technica, however you want to pronounce it. It's a Japanese company. So I hope you liked it. That concludes the test, and I invite you to listen to my other test in which I compare Audio-Technica to Synco D2, both great microphones. Take care.